everybody, and welcome back to Back Interviews. Today we are interviewing Robert W. Service, Esperanza Ortega, Brooke Picard, Anna Voss, Kylie Clark, and a grandchild of a miner from the Pikes Peak Gold Rush. Let's start with a call from Robert W. Service. Hello, Robert.
Hello.
So, Robert, I have a couple of questions about your cremation of Sam McGee. First off, what is the cremation of Sam McGee about?
The cremation of Sam McGee is about the Klondike Gold Rush and what they went through.
What were some of the things that you said about what the men were thinking?
In it talks about how they would rather die than work in the cold, and they were having suicidal impulses over the cold weather.
Did you state the conditions in the cremation?
Yes, the conditions were very harsh, and a lot of men risked their lives to find and get gold.
That is all the questions I have for you today. Thank you for your time.
Of course, anytime.
All right, our next guest will be Esperanza Ortega. Esperanza, you're on call.
Hello, Esperanza.
Hello.
Esperanza, I'm going to ask you some questions about your life moving to America. Does that sound okay?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so the first question I have for you is, why did your family decide to move from Mexico to America?
Sadly, after my father died, we lost all of our money and our house. So we moved to America in search of money and jobs.
So, what part of America did you move to?
We moved up to California, which is a very long journey from Mexico.
What were your living conditions when you got to California?
Everyone went to work right away. But when the dust storms started to come through, things got a lot harsher. My mom got pneumonia from her lungs being filled up with dust.
So sorry to hear about that. That was the last question we have for you today, so thank you for sharing your time.
No problem.
The next guest, Kylie Clark, sadly couldn't be here today, so here she is on call.
Hello, Kylie.
Hello.
So today I'll be asking you questions about your experience of the first time you hiked a 14er.
Sounds good.
The first question I have for you today is, what was the hike like?
The hike was very long and very hard to breathe because of the elevation.
Did you bring anything with you on the hike?
Yes, we had to carry a lot of water, which was very heavy, especially since I was younger.
What were the conditions that you hiked in?
The conditions were harsh. We did it on a rainy day, and it was very hard to see in front of you because of the fog.
Okay, thank you for sharing your experience and your time.
For sure.
Our next guest is Brooke Picard. Welcome, Brooke.
Hello.
All right, Brooke. So today I'll be asking you some questions about when you were moved from Texas to Colorado. First, when you're moving to Colorado, what was going through your mind?
I was very young at the time, I think like 5 years old, and I was completely clueless. I had no idea where we were going, and I didn't know what to expect.
How long did it take you to get from Texas to Colorado?
I think it was like 3 days to get all of our stuff and like furniture to Colorado from Texas.
And what were you feeling?
I was scared and afraid of like what was coming.
All right, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you for coming and sharing your experience. I'm gonna go get a water break, but Emma will be taking over me for the next interview.
Hello, our next guest will be Anna Voss.
Hi.
Hello. So Anna, I will be asking you some questions about your experience with living in the snow.
Sounds good.
The first question I have for you is, what was it like?
It's really cold and can get super windy on some days, which makes it even colder.
How long have you been living in the cold and snow?
My whole life, which is about 13 years.
How bad is the climate and weather?
It can get really bad, and we can get some super bad blizzards that you can't even see the road.
Wow, that's the last question I have for you today. Thank you for sharing and taking your time to come here.
Of course. Thank you, Emma, for taking over there while I got a little break. Looks like we're moving on to our last guest today. Please welcome Maria Overcall.
Hello.
So, Maria, could you tell me and the folks listening a little bit about yourself and your grandpa?
Yeah, my granddad was a miner from the Pikes Peak Gold Rush. He always used to tell me about his memories and the challenges from the gold rush.
Could you tell us some of those challenges?
My grandpa always used to talk about the thousands of people who came to Colorado in search of gold.
What about some of his memories of the gold rush?
He also told me about afterward and how they left Pikes Peak like a ghost town with no one there after the gold rush had stopped.
That's crazy. Thank you so much for sharing your grandfather's experiences with us today.
Anytime.
And thank you to the people watching this video, because that is all the time we have today, sadly. We will see you in the next back interview.